3 months to find Velma. They wouldn't believe Grail didn't know where she was, and hadn't helped to get away. So every cop and newsfolk in the country looked in all the places where. No, I'm okay. Anyway, they looked in all the places where money might be hiding her, and money wasn't hiding her at all. Although the way she hid was pretty obvious once it was found out. One night, a Baltimore detective with a camera eye as red as a pink zebra wandered into a nightclub and listened to the band and looked at a handsome, black-haired, black-browed torture who could sing as if she meant it. Something in her face struck a chord, and the chord went on vibrating. He went back to headquarters and got out the wanted file and started through the pile of readers. When he came to the one he wanted, he looked at it a long time. Then he straightened his straw hat on his head, went back to the nightclub and got hold of the manager. They went back to the dressing rooms behind the shell, and the manager knocked on one of the doors. It wasn't locked. The dick pushed the manager aside, went in, and locked it. He must have smelt the marijuana because she was smoking it, but he didn't pay any attention then. She was sitting in front of a triple mirror, studying the roots of her hairs and her eyebrows. They were her own eyebrows. The dick stepped across the room, smiling, and handed the reader. She must have looked in the face on the reader almost as long as the dick had done at headquarters. There was a lot to think about while she was looking at it. The dick sat down, crossed his legs, lit a cigarette. He had a good eye, but he'd over-specialized. He didn't know enough about women. Finally, she laughed a little and said, "You're smart, that Papa. I thought I had a voice that would be remembered. A friend recognized me by it once, just hearing it on the radio. But I've been singing with this band a month, twice a week on a network. Nobody gave it a thought. I never heard the voice," the dick said, and went on smiling. She said, "I suppose we can't make a deal on this, let alone in it, if it's handled right?" "Not with me," said the dick. "Sorry." "Let's go then," she said, and stood up and grabbed a bag and a coat from a hanger. She went over to him, holding out the coat so he could help her into it. He stood up and held it for her like a gentleman. She turned, slipped the gun out of the bag, and shot him. 3 times. Through the coat he was holding. She had 2 bullets left in the gun. When they crashed the door, they got halfway across the room before she used them. She used them both. The second shot, it must have been pure reflex. They caught her before she hit the floor, but her head was already hanging like a rag. She shot herself through the heart twice, Randall said. And I've heard experts on the stand say that's impossible. No, I know the time myself that it wasn't. You know something else? Well, she was stupid to shoot that dick. He'd never have convicted her. Not with her looks and the money and the persecution stories, those high-priced guys who build up, boarded a rich girl from a dive, claims to be wife of a rich man, and the vultures that used to know her won't let her alone. That sort of thing. Well, Camp with half a dozen crummy old burlesque dames in court decide that they blackmailed her for years. In a way, you couldn't put anything on them, but the jury would go for it. She did the smart thing to run off on her own and leave Grail out of it. But it would have been smarter to come home when she was caught. "Oh, you believe now that she left Grail out of it," I said. He nodded. I said, "Do you think she had any particular reason for that?" He stared at me. "No, I'll go for it. Whatever it is. She was a killer," I said. "But so was Malloy. And he was a long way from being all rat. Maybe that Baltimore dick wasn't so pure as the record shows. Maybe she saw a chance not to get away. She was too tired of dodging by that time. But to give a break to the only man who'd ever really given her one."